Hi everyone, I'm Jer. Welcome to Kill-Divill. Today we're going to make the 1940s version of the Hurricane. If you're a new subscriber, I hope you're a new subscriber. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And hit the notification button so you get notifications, obviously, of when I make something new. If you're a returning subscriber, I hope you're a subscriber, welcome back. And if you just here for the recipe, please hit the timestamps down below. Otherwise, get ready to listen to me talk. Alright, when most people think of the hurricane, they think of Mardi Gras, New Orleans, French Quarter, and Pat O'Brien's, and not remembering the night. My first introduction to the hurricane may have been a night like that one. The hurricane itself actually has a long history. Well, longish history. The history starts during Prohibition, when Benson Pat O'Brien ran a speakeasy in New Orleans called Mr. O'Brien's Club Tipperary, and the password to get in, just for some trivia, was Storms of Ruin. Alcohol distributors at the time were called bootleggers or rum runners, and they made deals with speakeasies to move high-quality alcohol and low-quality alcohol, because the speakeasies wanted the high quality, but the bootleggers wanted to move the low quality. So in order to get the high-quality alcohol, the speakeasies had to buy a lot of low-quality alcohol, and that low-quality alcohol was almost always rum from the Caribbean. With the repeal of Prohibition, Mr. Pat O'Brien and his new business partner, Charles Cantrell, found themselves with a lot of cheap rum in their storeroom and needed to sell it in order to make ends meet. So they came up in collaboration with their bartender, Louis Culligan, the Hurricane. And the Hurricane used a lot of rum, it used citrus, and it used passion fruit in a large glass shaped like a hurricane lantern. And they called it the Hurricane because there was so much rum in it that it would blow away your mind just like a real hurricane would. The Hurricane became very popular with sailors. It was strong and it was easy to drink. Eventually it became very popular with the locals and the tourists as well, and the legend of the Hurricane was born. That was story number one for the creation of the Hurricane. Story number two is roughly the same. Pat O'Brien had a speakeasy back during Prohibition. Fast forward to World War II, when all of the distilleries in the United States were turned over to industrial alcohol production. Therefore, people needed to get their drinking alcohol from elsewhere. That included the Caribbean, with a lot of cheap rum. Other than that, the story is very much the same. They had a storeroom full of cheap rum, needed to sell it, worked with business partner and the bartender to create the Hurricane. The third story for the creation of the Hurricane has very little evidence to back it up. In fact, I only found one blogger who referenced it in passing, and that is the Hurricane was actually created at the Hurricane Bar in Queens, New York for the 1939 World's Fair. Again, no corroboration, no ideas about who made it or what was in it, so I'm guessing that story is not totally true. Okay, let's make the 1940s Hurricane. And the reason I'm calling it the 1940s Hurricane is because it's basing it off a recipe that came out of this book, which is Smuggler's Cove by Martin Cate with Rebecca Cate. And their recipe says it came from 1940s, Pat O'Brien's. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is put the ingredients in the shaker. The first ingredient is fresh lemon juice. I'm going to use 2 ounces of that. Next is going to be the passion fruit syrup. And I didn't make my own this time, which is where I deviate from the recipe in the Smuggler's Cove. I have trouble accessing passion fruit where I'm at, so I bought store-bought. 2 ounces of this. Finally, the rum. Now, a lot of people make fun of the Hurricane because it's a foofy drink, but we're putting 4 ounces of rum in. Smuggler's Cove calls for a black blended rum, which is why I'm using Gosling's Black Seal rum. Some recipes call for Jamaican rum instead. 4 ounces. Just remember, 4 ounces. One, two, 3, 4. I'm going to set this aside just for a moment because I'm going to have to crush some ice. And I have my little Lewis bag here. I'm going to put my ice right in there. Come on out. Thank you. Close it up. Use my little hammer and beat the hell out of it. I think that's enough help. I'm going to put the ice on the other side. Let's see if I can do this without spilling too much. And the recipe calls for about 10 ounces of ice. Now, drink Boston Shaker together and shake. The recipe calls for a flash mix because they're using a mixing. Oh, let's see if I can struggle with this a little bit. There we go. They're using a drink mixer. I don't have a drink mixer, which is why I'm using the shaker. Then all of this goes in the glass. And we are using a hurricane glass. Final step, oh, let's not put that there. Final step is going to be garnish. It calls for 2 garnishes. Number 1 is going to be a lemon wedge. So I'm going to cut a little slice there and put that on the edge. The next is going to be one of the little foofy umbrellas. These things are pretty cool. Because it's a hurricane, though, we don't care if it works or not. In fact, we kind of want it broken because a hurricane came through and destroyed this thing. And I can put that through the lemon. Finally, a straw, because you're going to want to drink this from the bottom. And I'm using a nice, fancy, reusable straw. Now, as I pointed out, this is a lot of alcohol. If you want to drink the whole thing yourself, make sure you have a driver. If you're going to split this with somebody else, maybe it's a special somebody else and you use 2 straws, and then I hope your night is as full of storm and passion as the drink is. Drink with good spirits.